is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, this
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Everyone feeling it? We over the hump?
Yeah.
We're still climbing up.
I'm almost over it. I feel like after the show's officially almost Baby Thursday.
Baby Thursday.
I like it.
Yes. I don't like
it.
Friday Junior for Thursday, but I like Baby Thursday for Wednesday night.
All right.
Is there a good Wednesday song?
No.
Like, come on over on Wednesday.
We did that yesterday with Tuesday.
Oh, we did? Oh, I'm so
Maybe
sorry.
think about this before the show starts.
Okay.
Have it ready.
Okay. Apologies.
I was going to end on Baby Thursday. I like that. That's cute. It's a new thing. All right, welcome to DBL. Danny Masterson's wife, Bijou Phillips, has filed for divorce after 11 years of marriage. Danny's currently serving 30 years to life, and his wife was at his side throughout the trial and sentencing. Bijou is asking for spousal support and full legal and physical custody of their 9-year-old daughter. Bijou asked the court to divide up her and Danny's assets because there's no prenup. But some people online say the divorce is just a way to protect their assets from any potential civil suits. Meantime, Ashton Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis have stepped down from their anti-child sex abuse charity he co-founded over the backlash they received for writing letters of support ahead of Danny's sentencing. There's two different stories there. Which one you want to hit first, Erica?
Which one caused the groan?
Maybe the last one, yeah.
Well, this is what I've been thinking about since we've been talking about. I mean, obviously, there has been a slew of case studies, so to speak, with Danny Masterson, with Russell Brand, with all of these different things. And this is my prevailing thought, is this is what happens when justice is delayed. When justice is delayed, there are more victims, there are more cover-ups, there are more people who become implicated, there are more people who are going to suffer. Because now we're seeing that people who were considered to be untouchable or protected by whatever entity are not untouchable and protected. And we have had a whole new world open up, whether it's flawed or not. Justice is being served. So now you have a woman who, before he was even, like, these cases go back before they even got married. So now she has married someone who is in the middle of a justice delay, has had a child with this person, and now is trying to protect her assets because he didn't get caught and taken care of the first time.
Do you think that's what
All
it is,
of
Tori,
these
or do you think
things.
that it's just some money? Like, do you think they're still together and just kind of moving their money around?
I think they're strongly together. She made it very clear, holding his hand, standing right next to him, smiling in that shot when he's getting sentenced for 30 years. Clearly, this is a strategy from their lawyers to protect their assets. It's a smart financial move. This is the way you do it because everything can be protected with her while he's in jail. He's going to get visitations and all that, and they can go to jail. I sort of just want to expand a little bit on what you said and about the ripple effect, because that's what you're talking about. And it is a ripple effect that gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the longer it takes, instead of getting shallower that you would think. It gets worse and worse. The cover-up gets smellier and smellier, and things get more complicated. I don't understand Bijou Phillips staying with him. That is between them. I'm not going to speak on that. I think it's absurd, but I'm not gonna. She has to do what she has to do. For Ashton and Mila, they should have just, in my mind, again, I'm not infallible, but perhaps thought about sending this amicus brief letter when you're on the board or creating the Thorn sex trafficking company. Maybe think about that before you send those letters, because they're somewhat they don't go together well, is what I'll say.
Well, I think a lot of times in situations like that, when you set up an organization like that, it's for everybody else, not people you know.
Maybe you're right.
And I don't think that they'll ever look at their friend as a convicted rapist. I think they'll look at it, there's a way to make everything make sense in your head. We were young then, we were all partying, who knows, memories were hazy. And I think that's what they're doing. There's something within human beings where we want to believe that our friends are good and just. And it's hard to come to face with the fact that you may have been hanging out with a convicted rapist for years,
Yeah.
even though
Or married
you probably
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
married one. You're right.
Or married one.
That had
Wow.
A child with
And
them.
had a child. That's right. And just so you know, there's rumors of an investigation into that 70s show about other criminal acts allegedly that went on behind the scenes, because I think there was a lot going on with underage situations and more. So I think now it's all opening. It's all coming out now, speaking of ripples.
Yeah.
All right, 2 of Joe Jonas's exes were spotted out hanging out in New York City. Taylor Swift, who dated Joe back in 2007, was seen arm in arm with Joe's soon-to-be ex-wife, Sophie Turner. They were leaving an Italian restaurant and reportedly went to a nearby bar. That seems a little strange, right? Joe filed for divorce from Sophie earlier this month after 4 years of marriage.
Is it strange to go
Yeah.
from a restaurant to a bar?
Yeah, if you're that famous, what are you doing? You're hanging out with exes.
But
And
this
now-
is a public
See, for-
image thing.
for
She's
me,
showing out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's
I
showing
don't think-
everyone.
It's not a regular. I get it if you're a regular person.
Right.
You're Taylor Swift. You're hanging out with your exes.
Well, they
I don't
became
know.
friends, very good friends, a while back on the Graham Norton show. So those two have known each other a while. They are exes, but this is, to me, a Sophie Turner PR play. She's showing right after the divorce of Joe Jonas, not only do I have support of my super famous friends, I'm happy, I'm going out, I'm having alcohol. There were stories and rumors about her partying too much. So this is her making a statement by going out to a restaurant and a bar, feeling free, feeling good, showing a little skin, and showing off a little bit of her freedom, I think. That is what, to me, that was what that statement said.
Look, I don't believe the narrative that she was partying too much.
Right.
But it would seem
I don't
like
either.
it would be a weird, deliberate thing that if you are accused of that and you are worried about your public image for whatever reason, to then be seen going out to bars.
Maybe to
I
prove
just
them
think
wrong, but yeah.
that these are friends that were hanging out. I don't know if this is a calculated thing. Or Erica.
Taylor doesn't do things that are uncalculated, just so you know.
I don't think she goes to bars either.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
In her songs, she does.
what most people, and I'll say our age, because I'm closer to your age than I am to their age.
I'm old
Al.
enough to have my own age.
Yes, you have your own age.
Look at me like a
Would
like a
probably
milestone
miss-
over
Get
here.
a little closer. You can't
Yeah.
hear.
Yes. Come up here, have your kids take a picture in front of me.
Man of granite.
There is a full-on campaign about the mothers. And these young women who are having children, look at the backlash on Keke Palmer's situation when her baby daddy said, you can't, or I'm just talking about the outfit because you're a mother. So I think that there is a full-blown
Conversation.
You are not going to put us into a box about what we should and should not be doing, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, just because we have had a child. Because no one is doing that to men. It is completely ridiculous to think that because you had a child, you can't go out or you can't wear clothes that you wore
Exactly.
before. And I think that's what we're seeing
It's the
is that
statement, yeah.
turnaround of you're not going to put us in that box.
So
I agree.
Calling somebody a mother in that situation is a way to control behavior.
Yeah, of
and
course.
it's something that
To
we've
shame.
seen, yes, to control and shame. And men for years, there's nothing that dad goes out. I'm a dad.
You're called a
and
daddy.
on a Sunday morning, the doubleheader, you're going to come home feeling no pain. That's not crazy for dad to show up a little buzzed in the afternoon, but for a mother, it's like, you're a mother, you need to act better. And I mean, I really do think that that's an overall way to control
And there's
women.
been a smear campaign against specifically her about partying and being a mother. I just think Taylor does things to make statements, whether they're coded, encrypted for her, everyone. This to me is exactly that. Let me be me, let me be free. Even if I am a mother, I'm reclaiming that word.
Encrypted.
Yeah, she does.
All right,
They're trying to. They
website?
broke the internet trying to figure out when 1989 will come out by doing a puzzle on Google.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
It's so funny how it's like we're all on a psychology test. You take a picture of some ink blob and everyone has a different
See
take.
something different.
Yeah.
They were just going to get sandwiches and they were going to a bar and they calculated their skin drift. I don't know. Coming up on DBL, we're going to break down Barry Williams. We're talking with Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch, how he's preparing for his Dancing with the Stars debut, and Julie Chen Moonves is talking about what led to her leaving the talk. Was she forced out?
Jeff, I wanted to ask you, do you think that some of the movies like Bad Moms or whatever, that is kind of they're shown to like show women that still want to hang. If you're 29, I was still like just getting ready to start partying.
Dude.
Can you imagine like having a kid and everybody's like, it's time to chill out, Jeff? And you're like,
that's what I mean. It's like they just, first of all, it's so wild what people do with just a picture, right? They're young kids, but if you look under the comments, there's like 800 different takes of why they're wearing what they're wearing or where they're going or why they're going there. Some people just want to hang out. Maybe they want to go see a movie.
That bar's name started with an S.
I don't think they're going to
her
a
next
bar.
album is slated to start with.
That's literally how Taylor works.
Yeah, that's so.
She had her next album title hidden in the album cover before, and you had to find it within the graphic.
I didn't have to do anything.
Get out more.
Yeah, you're not gonna bully me. I'm gonna live my life.
But you understand, people like to feel like they're included in a club that has language and vocabulary that's singularly theirs.
It's
nothing different than like a sports, I think, thing where you're like speaking a different language. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You guys are talking about parlaying and all that, and I'm like, oh, and learning about that. Well, we're talking about like her 13 numbers, her 22 angel numbers, her different songs.
Interestingly enough, that's how like housewives and stuff were formed, because everyone always refers to like television like that as a guilty pleasure, but we don't refer to sitting and watching copious amounts of like sports as a guilty pleasure.
We're studying
You're doing
formations,
the same
Erica,
thing.
to figure out what
Yeah.
defense we would have called
So
Erica.
it is
That's
the
so
it's the evolution.
The evolution
Yeah.
of that.
Yes, of women's
Maybe you
stories
shouldn't have been
of
sitting in a
women.
nickel defense
You know
when
what I saw?
they're definitely going to run.
I saw girlfriends who had to put together a fantasy football league for their boyfriends, but using only like their names and how cute and whatever they are, and then the boys had to manage the team, and they got really mad because the women picked. Like,
that's really fun.
I think that's
though.
fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have to figure. One person got mad 'cause they didn't.
Welcome back to DBL. We've all heard of getting a revenge body after a breakup, but what about a revenge facelift? In her new book, Chen Moonves says she was forced out of her role as co-host of The Talk back in 2018 after her husband, former CBS executive Les Moonves, was accused of sexual misconduct. Julie said she had a lower facelift to prove, quote, "These meanies can't get me down." Julie, who still hosts Big Brother, said she also felt compelled to keep looking the same in front of the camera from season to season. Meantime, Leah Remini said another co-host from the original cast, I don't know why I read that like that, back in 2010, tried to get her fired because she said she was too uptight. That last part I butchered. I guess Julie Chen Moonves said Leah Remini tried to get her fired because she was too uptight.
Yeah, Julie was
I don't know
too
where I
uptight.
went with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
What do you think?
Do it. Whatever. That's awesome. I mean, look, the one thing I'll say is the sentence I always say. Feminism, which I strongly believe in, is about your choice. It's about having options that anybody else could have, equal choices. You want to have a lower facelift? Awesome. You want to get in shape? Awesome. You want to become a cross-stitch person? Awesome. I have no problem with this at all. And if you do...
But my question to that, I mean, I agree with it, but it's a pretty broad statement. Should you be capitulating to what the public is putting on you? Because we never talk about men feeling obligated to look a certain way on camera, but all we do in the public, on this show, on every show in our society, is talk about, does that supermodel have wrinkles now? Should she get some work done? Did she have some work done? Should she tell her fans she had some work done? Isn't the true capitulation to even answer those questions trampling on your very dignity, rather than saying, don't ask me that question again, or you're never having it. And if you want to talk to me about Big Brother, let's do that. But don't worry about what's going on.
I totally agree. But what if her choice is not to stand up and be that representative? What if she doesn't want to be the person that's like, women don't have to? Maybe she just wants to tell her true story about her plastic surgery. Not everybody has to be like, women don't have to do that.
But
and men
why would she feel obligated to tell her true story about that?
Well, I don't think that it's obligation in the way that you're thinking about it. I think that sometimes I can only speak for myself, and when I think of things that I've been more transparent about, and sometimes people will say, you should keep that closer to the vest. Maybe you shouldn't share those things. Don't feel like you have to. Now I'm looking at you because you're telling me what I should feel or shouldn't feel like I should be doing. If I'm telling you something, if I'm being transparent with my testimony, it's because it's on my heart to do so. Now, when we're talking about something like plastic surgery, maybe that seems very superficial to a lot of people, but maybe that's also a part of her journey that she wants to share, and that's just the way that she's sharing it. So I think whether people choose to share or they don't choose to share, that's totally fine. I think where it gets a little bit more problematic is when you're someone who is sharing something and you're sharing it voluntarily and it's not the truth, meaning you have had a very big weight loss or your body has changed a lot. You're saying that you're drinking tea every day, but really you got lipo and you've been on Ozempic for the past 6 months. That's when it gets tricky. But if you want to tell your truth or not, that's totally up to you.
Do you think, you know Julie, do you feel like she was uptight?
No. And especially I think she's evolved over the years. You know, a lot of things have happened to Julie. I mean, I was on that show 14, 15 years ago, right? And we became friends throughout the years. And I think she's definitely evolved as a person. What she's been through in her life, you know, different religious things. And I think she's really opened up as the years went on, especially, you know, she was called the Chen bot. She makes a joke about that and then openly talks about that, being the Chen bot, and uses it to her advantage. So I think this is just part of her being Julie, and she's opening up about getting a facelift. You know, and, you know, I think she's just, she's doing herself. She's doing Julie. I respect her, All right, cool. We'll be right back.
You may have seen a viral post like this one from Congresswoman Lauren Boebert that claims the federal government is giving people who enter the U.S. illegally a monthly stipend of $2,200. Several verified viewers saw the post and want to know if this is really happening. So let's verify.
Our sources are the U.S. State Department, the Congressional Research Service, the National Immigration Law Center, and Jewish Family Service of San Diego. We want to tell you up front that no, the federal government does not give undocumented immigrants a monthly stipend.
When someone illegally enters the U.S., they are not qualified to receive benefits from federal programs under federal law, except in rare cases as victims of abuse or trafficking.
The National Immigration Law Center says this means they can't get food stamps, non-emergency Medicaid, or Social Security.
And the State Department tells Verify it does not provide payments or assistance to undocumented immigrants. The Congressional Research Service has published several reports explaining that undocumented immigrants are largely ineligible for public benefits. Even asylum seekers who are legally allowed to remain in the U.S. until their hearing do not receive a monthly payment. Jewish Family Service tells Verify that, at most, asylum seekers might get small amounts of money from nonprofit organizations for food and personal expenses. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. He is hip in far out ways, and now he will be shaking his hips for votes on Dancing with the Stars. I'm such a good dancer. Earlier, Barry Williams joined us and our live studio audience. Take a look. Please welcome to the show, Barry Williams.
Hey, nice to be here. Very nice to be here.
Barry, so excited to have you here. So let's talk about this because it's trending. The Brady Bunch house just sold for over $3 million. And the new owner said nothing inside works and it's all just decorative. She even called it the worst investment.
Oh, no.
Do you think it was worth it?
Well, I think it's worth it to her. I heard her say that a lot of things don't work, which they don't. They were done kind of superficially to look right, and they do. They look great. I thought HGTV did a great job, but she considers it art, and so do I. And I'm just thrilled that somebody bought the house. It's not going to tear it down and do something else with it. She may be using it for fundraisers or goodwill and things like that. And I think that would be a cool way to handle it.
Yeah.
I love it. Barry, you're taking on a new role with Dancing with the Stars. Woo! I'm going to put it out there. Are you a little worried about Jason Mraz? Who are you most worried about, Barry?
I'm trying to stay in my own lane, you know? I know it's a competition, but I kind of feel like I'm competing with myself. It's a 7-day-a-week job. We get in there. It's demanding. It's challenging. It's very rewarding. But my ace in the hole here is my partner.
You got a great teacher. Have you bonded with anybody? Anybody on the cast?
We really don't. We don't interact a whole lot. Sometimes we get together for promotional purposes like that, but mostly we're isolated in our own rehearsal spaces, and we're all doing different dances. It's all different music, and so it's pretty focused just on the week ahead.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite is the pasadobles, because they get really into it. So I can't wait to see that. That's right. There's a passion there, which I can't wait to see. Turning a bit serious here, one of your competitors, Adrian Peterson, we've talked a lot about him. He's facing a ton of backlash right now for being on the show. We have to ask you, what do you think about the concerns raised by a former pro, Sharna Burgess?
Well, I appreciate you asking me, but as I said, I have my job, and what I'm doing is very straightforward, and it has everything to do with bringing the best me there, totally. Dancing as well, being a part of it. I don't even know all of the issues with Adrian or any of the cast members, for that matter, and so I can't really weigh in on an opinion because it's really more for your show, for talk shows.
Totally fair.
I respect that. Yep. Stay in your own lane, right?
By the way, I wanted to be on your show for the longest time. I couldn't figure out how I was going to work it out. Finally, I figured it out. That I had to get on the 32nd season of Dancing with the Stars. And here we are.
What a showman.
Yours may be the only talk show on television where everybody doesn't talk at the same time. And I love that, and I thank you for that.
Wow. Bert, did you see that, Bert?
Yeah, Bert's excited. He's going to clip that, Barry. Thank you. That's going on our show reel now. You're the third Brady Bunch cast member to dance on the show after the late Florence Henderson, may she rest in peace, and Maureen McCormick. Have you gotten any sort of advice? Did you watch their shows?
I was a big part of Florence Henderson's participation in the show. I did her weekly package, and I visited the show. But she's actually the one who inspired me to do it. She knows my background, a lot of theater, a lot of musical theater throughout my adult years, and said, Barry, please, really consider coming on this show and being a part of it. But make me a promise: if you come on, go further than I did. It's been on the radar, and this year it appeared, and it seems to be perfect. I will be the senior member of the team here, but I'm in and I'm ready to tango.
Sam, so we were talking earlier about our predictions, and my prediction's now Barry. He's got Guardian Angel up there. That's going to be my pick. And he likes our show.
Here's what I want. I want you to use this as a little stunt. You don't tell anybody, but it'd be cool if somehow you worked in like a football and you pretended to break Peter's nose, but then you come up and you all dance. Remember that episode?
Oh yeah, Marsha.
Yeah.
Or was it Jake?
Wouldn't that be a great little stunt?
Great idea.
It is a good idea.
You tune in for the first one. We got a nod. We got a nod.
There you go. There you go.
I love it. Barry, thank you so much. DBL Nation, Dancing with the Stars is back on ABC, and you can also catch it on Disney+. Vote for Barry and PETA starting September 26th on DisneyPlus.com/vote or by texting Barry to 21523. Congratulations, Barry.
Let's go, Barry. You got this, man.
Yeah, Barry. Right back.
The headline is bold, claiming children behave 800% worse in the presence of their mother. It says the reason is pheromones, and cites a Dr. K.P. Leibowitz from the University of Washington's psychology department. The claim has gotten intense reaction from parents. But is it true? Let's verify. Our sources are the University of Washington Psychology Department, the Wayback Machine, an internet archive, and Samantha Speed, a licensed professional counselor who works with children. Speed says the claim, although it sounds good, is not true.
First of all, the researcher didn't exist. And second of all, the data was nowhere to be seen.
The University of Washington confirms that. In a statement to 11 Alive, the psychology department said, "We do not know the origin or author of the document. We do know there is no Dr. K.P. Leibowitz at the University of Washington in any of our current or historical databases." The satirical study has popped up in social media posts, websites, blogs, even a news site in Africa. All of them source this website, Mom News Daily. The website, based out of India, circles back to the fake study. Emails to the website creators have gone unanswered. Even though all the data is fake, Samantha says there is some truth to the claim.
Children often act out or behave in certain ways like this when they're around their primary caregivers, mainly because they feel a sense of safety and security.
She says it could be a dad, a grandparent, a nanny, or another caregiver, anyone with whom the child feels safe to show their emotions.
You're telling me this is really a good thing?
Yes.
So we can verify, no, children are not 800% worse when their moms are in the room, but they do tend to show their big feelings to the people they feel most comfortable with. Your
Since 2022, people who were exposed to toxic water at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987 can request financial relief under the Camp Lejeune Justice Act. You've probably seen law firm commercials like this one offering to help people affected get benefits.
At Morgan & Morgan, we're fighting for the families affected by this to try to get them the compensation they deserve.
Earlier this month, the Navy and Justice Department announced a way to speed up many compensation claims. This new elective option sets a payout framework for people based on medical conditions and length of exposure. If eligible, the recipient can choose to accept this or file a more comprehensive suit. Verify Viewer Bill wants to know if people actually need a lawyer to file a claim. So let's verify using these sources. According to the Camp Lejeune Justice Act, the U.S. Navy, and the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, we can confirm that you do not need a lawyer to file a claim. You can do it on your own. To file a claim or learn more, visit navy.mil/CLJA or scan this QR code on your screen. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Welcome back. If you got a dirty car, try these DIY cleaning hacks for a spotless ride. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First up, clean your headlights by rubbing toothpaste on them with a cloth. Then rinse with water. This will restore the clarity and brightness. Next, clean your car's wheels and rims with warm water and dish soap. Lastly, keep a small container of black tea in your car to absorb bad odors. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call today at 800-946-5040.
Is that what most people buy black tea for? I've never heard anybody say, what would you like?
I think
black tea.
No, it's just for caffeine.
People drink it.
Yeah, they drink it for caffeine. Great caffeine.
I never see it.
Great little tip, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Delicious.
Good for caffeine.
Yeah.